The air in our village changed in Magh. It became heavy with the sweet smell of ripe paddy. The golden fields stretched far, touching the hazy blue sky. This was the time of Bhogali Bihu. It was the festival of food, of feasting. The granaries were full. Our hearts were full too. A gentle fog would cover everything in the early morning. It was cold, a biting cold that made our cheeks red. But the thought of the coming festival kept us warm. The sounds of the village also changed. We could hear the rhythmic thud of the deki, the wooden rice pounder, from every home. It was a song of preparation. Every house was busy. Mothers and aunts gathered in the courtyards. They sat on low stools, their hands moving quickly. They were cleaning rice, soaking it in water, and grinding it into a fine powder. This powder was the soul of our Bihu treats. The air filled with the earthy scent of freshly ground rice flour. Little children ran around, their laughter mixing with the serious talk of the elders. They were excited about the feasts and the games. The buffaloes in the sheds seemed to sense the joy too. They munched on fresh straw, their bells tinkling softly in the quiet afternoon. It was a time of simple, shared happiness. The sun would set early, painting the sky in shades of orange and purple. The smell of wood smoke would then rise from the kitchens. This was the smell of home, of comfort. Inside, the women started making the first batches of pita. The sweet aroma of coconut and jaggery filled every corner of our small bamboo house. It mixed with the smell of burning wood and the cold winter air. This was the perfume of Bhogali Bihu. It was a scent that promised warmth, community, and delicious food. It was a scent I will never forget. As night fell, the village grew quiet, but it was a watchful quiet. Everyone was waiting for the Uruka, the night of the grand feast. The men were busy building the meji, a tall structure made of bamboo and hay. It stood in the middle of the field like a silent guard. It would be set on fire the next morning. We children would fall asleep dreaming of the feast. We dreamt of fish curry, tender duck meat, and endless plates of pita. The entire village was wrapped in a blanket of anticipation, waiting for the dawn that would bring the festival to life. Pita is not just food. It is a piece of our culture made with love. The main ingredient is rice, the gift of our fields. For Bhogali Bihu, we use bora sol, a special sticky rice. We also use zali sol, the common rice. The rice is washed carefully, then soaked for hours. After that, it is ground into a fine, soft powder called pitaguri. This flour is the canvas for our culinary art. The fillings are simple and sweet. We use freshly grated coconut, mixed with melted jaggery. Sometimes we add black sesame seeds, which give a nutty flavor. These ingredients come straight from our land. The making of pita is a ritual. I remember watching my Aita, my grandmother, make til pita. Her hands moved with grace and confidence. She would take a small amount of rice flour and spread it thinly on a hot iron pan. It was like drawing a perfect white circle. She would then place a spoonful of the sweet sesame and jaggery filling in the middle. With a swift movement, she would roll the delicate crepe into a small cylinder. The pita had to be cooked just right. If it was on the pan for too long, it would become hard. If it was too short, it would be raw. There were so many kinds of pita. Gila pita were small, round rice cakes, fried until they were golden brown. They were crispy on the outside and soft on the inside. Then there was narikol pita, made with a coconut filling. Tekali pita was steamed in the mouth of a kettle, making it incredibly soft and fluffy. Each pita had its own unique taste and texture. The tekali pita was light as a cloud, while the gila pita was satisfyingly chewy. Sharing them was part of the joy. No bihu was complete without a plateful of assorted pitas offered to guests. The kitchen during these days was a warm and happy place. It was filled with the sounds of sizzling oil and steaming pots. The sweet, comforting smells wrapped around us like a warm blanket. My mother and aunts would work together, laughing and talking. They shared recipes and stories. They passed down traditions from one generation to the next. Making pita was not a chore. It was a celebration of our harvest. It was a way of thanking the earth for its generosity. Each pita was a small bundle of joy, a taste of our home. My childhood memories of Bihu are filled with the warmth of fire. The most exciting moment was the morning of Bihu. We would wake up before the sun. The air was freezing, and the ground was wet with dew. We would run to the fields where the tall meji stood. The village elders would gather there. After a small prayer, the Meji would be set on fire. The flames would leap high into the dark sky, chasing away the cold and the darkness. We children would dance around the fire, our faces glowing in its orange light. We felt a strange, ancient joy watching the fire burn. After the Meji was lit, it was time for games. The boys would organize a game of tekeli bonga, or pot breaking. A clay pot filled with curd or sweets would be hung high on a bamboo pole. One by one, the boys, blindfolded, would try to break it with a stick. There was so much laughter and cheering. The girls played games with cowrie shells. We would sit in circles on the dry grass, our hands moving fast as we tossed the shells. The losers would have to sing a song or tell a joke. These simple games brought us all together. Food was everywhere. After the games, we would eat the food that had been blessed at the Meiji fire. We would get pieces of roasted sweet potato and yam. They were blackened by the fire on the outside, but soft and sweet inside. We would eat them right there in the field, our hands dirty with ash. Then we would run home for the real feast. Our mothers would serve us warm pithas and yolpan, a breakfast of flattened rice, puffed rice and curd. The taste of fresh cream and sweet jaggery was heavenly. It was the taste of celebration. The best part was the feeling of freedom. There was no school, no work, only joy. We could run through the empty fields. We could visit any house in the village and be welcomed with a smile and a plate of pithas. The elders would sit in the sun, sharing stories of past bihus. Their voices were calm and gentle. The whole village felt like one big family. The laughter of children, the warmth of the fire, the taste of sweet pitha. These are the memories that make Bogali Bihu so special in my heart. During Bogali Bihu, the entire village becomes one family. The boundaries between homes disappear. People move freely from one courtyard to another, sharing food and laughter. The Uruka feast is a perfect example. Families often cook together in the open fields. Large pots of fish curry and duck meat simmer over open fires. The men would sit together, talking loudly, their voices carrying across the fields. The women would pass around plates of fried vegetables and freshly made pithas. There was a sense of belonging, a deep connection that tied everyone together. The sights and sounds of the village were vibrant. The mustard fields were a brilliant yellow, like a carpet laid out for the sun. The bamboo groves were a deep, cool green. Women wore bright mekela sadors, in colors of red, green and gold. Their laughter was like music. You could hear the cheerful calls of Happy Bihu from every corner. Even the birds seemed to sing a happier tune. The air was filled with the smell of burning hay from the Meiji, the sweet aroma of pithas, and the earthy scent of the harvested fields. It was a feast for all the senses. This festival strengthens our bonds. It reminds us that we are part of a community. When a family needs help building their belaga, the temporary hut for the feast, neighbors come without being asked. When someone's deki breaks, another family offers theirs. This sharing is the spirit of Bihu. It is about helping each other and celebrating together. It teaches the younger generation about unity and the importance of supporting one another. The festival is not just about eating, it is about feeding the soul of the community. This is why Bogali Bihu and its pithas remain so meaningful. They connect us to our land and to our ancestors. They are a celebration of the hard work of our farmers. They are a symbol of our rich culture. In a world that is changing so fast, Bihu brings us back to our roots. It reminds us of the simple joys of life. A full granary, a warm fire, a sweet pitha, and the company of loved ones. It is a thread of continuity, a taste of home that we carry in our hearts no matter where we go.